vinyl community. This is Andy.
And this is Sunny.
And we're here to do our bi-monthly? Our bi-monthly album exchange. Before we get into that though, I just want to say a few quick things. I'd like to thank all the generosity of the vinyl community from the past couple weeks that have sent me VCLT packages for no reason whatsoever. Thanks to Jonathan from the Cheap and Cheerful Record Collector, Chris at What Lurks on Channel X, who gave me this nice shirt, Ronnie from Ronnie's Record Room, and Rob from Black Star Vinyl. I also want to thank Billy Hurst for the super fast shipment of his Record Store Day release of the signed and numbered Record Store Day copies of his album Small Town Fool. Thanks, I really appreciate that. She does too. I want to give a quick shout out to a couple of new channels, The Vinyl Countdown and to Dude 1973. I mentioned that I would give a shout out to you guys in the live stream I did the other night, which was very overwhelming. It was the first live stream I've ever done. There were so many people on, commenting one after the next. I know I missed a lot of comments, so thanks to everyone that participated in that.
I don't think you missed a lot of comments. You did good.
I tried.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people though that was saying stuff, and I didn't get to acknowledge everyone that said something. So, but thanks for everyone that participated in that. I will definitely be doing one again in the near future, and also want to thank Mark over at Golden Vinyl Spin. He commissioned me to do some artwork for his wife, which I just finished up today. I'll be dropping that in the mail off tomorrow, so you should be getting it by Christmas. So tonight's vinyl exchange is brought to you by Paul, better known as Paraka P-Dub here on YouTube. He sent me a couple of records, I guess a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and we decided, well, let's go ahead and review these because it's two albums that were review worthy. So tonight we'll be reviewing the debut album from MESSA, M-E-S-S-A, however you want to say it. They're an Italian doom metal band. The album is called Bellfry, and it came out in 2016.
And Wolf Alice's first of 2 studio albums. This is My Love Is Cool. It came out in 2015 on RCA Records.
We are going to be starting this evening with the album Bellfry from MESSA. Again, it came out in 2016 on Oral Music label. MESSA are an Italian doom metal band. They refer to themselves as Scarlet Doom. I assume because they have a female lead singer. I don't know, because most doom bands don't. The word MESSA is Italian for mass. The musicians on this are Mark Sade, or Sade, however you want to say it, Sarah, Mystere, and Albert. That's their names. It's a 2 LP set. It's 3-sided. There's an etching on side 4. There's, what, 10 songs, and it's well over an hour of music. I've got some notes here, so I'm just going to refer to those. MESSA begins with a slow start with a 4+ minute omnibus of ambient noise, with the opening song called Alba. It's kind of, when you first put it on, you kind of think maybe your stereo's messed up, because it's this low hum that resonates for quite some time, but eventually it kicks into the song number 2, which is Babylon. That's when the distortion kicks in and Sarah begins to sing. Her vocals are very moody, very emotional and powerful. I would say she kind of sounds like Ann Wilson from Heart if she was fronting a band like Typo Negative or maybe St. Vitus. That's my best estimation. After that song is the song Pharaoh, which is another 3 to 4 minute ambient, moody type song that before it goes into the core song of the album, in my opinion, which is Hour of the Wolf. I believe there's a video for that song on YouTube. Hour of the Wolf, isn't there? There's one or two videos that, maybe just one. I think there's just one video.
I don't think I've watched any of their videos.
Well, there's not a lot out there as far as their stuff on YouTube. They're kind of an indie band, but in the research I've done on this album, they get a lot of praise from a lot of different reviewers on just how badass this album is. So, you want to throw anything in there while we're on the subject of this album?
Well, I agree. Sarah has a very sultry voice that kind of draws you in and makes you want to listen more.
Now, they are Italian.
Yes.
And it's kind of and they're singing in English, or she's singing in English, and it's a bit of a rough translation from trying to read the lyrics.
It is.
But
when you read the lyrics, you're like, what?
But I think through the sound of the music, they get their point across, what it is they're trying to...
You really can't understand her fully anyway when she's singing.
It's a very doomy, you could say evil sounding album.
Yeah.
It's something you could put on Halloween night and listen to. And
when I first listened to it, I was thinking, what is she singing? What am I listening to?
Well, it's almost like you're listening to a movie soundtrack,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like I say, about half the songs are instrumental, and the other half, what lyrics they do have, it's not lengthy in lyrics by any means.
And they're kind of a mix of different genres. They throw in some kind of bluesy guitar solos, like at the end of Hour of the Wolf.
Yeah.
They had a really awesome bluesy guitar solo.
There's another indie band that they briefly remind me of, and that's a band called Curse of the North. There's a song called Sleep While You Can that they did. It's kind of reminiscent to this album, so if you're familiar with that, you might enjoy this. You can tell they were fans of Black Sabbath.
I didn't really have anybody to compare them to because I'm not a metal fan. I didn't even know what doom metal was. I had to kind of do some research on my metal genres. So I don't really have any comment as far as who I think they sound like.
If it wasn't for Black Sabbath,
but I do agree.
There would not be no genre called doom metal, because it's very much Black Sabbathy. Mm-hmm. There's a song called New Horns, which sounds like something from Seraph Ungol. And then the last song on the album, I've skipped over a few. I'm just perusing my notes. The last song on the album is a song called Confess, and it's very folky. It's acoustic guitar with her vocals, and it's kind of a breakaway from what you've been listening to, and it's kind of like an epilogue for the album, I guess, or an epitaph for the album.
And guess what my favorite song is?
We haven't got that far yet. Okay, well let's since you said that, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
We're trying not to make this video extremely long like the last few have. There's 10 songs on the album, and what was your favorite song?
Confess.
Confess?
Yes.
Confess is good.
Followed by Hour of the Wolf and Babylon.
Let me adjust my thing here 1 second. Okay. I'm on a laptop. We had Black Friday last week, so we got new technology. She's on her...
Rather than write it on paper, we put it on
so
our...
what is that you've got?
Just a Kindle.
It's Amazon Fire?
Amazon Fire HD.
And I got a little Chromebook here, so yeah, I know. But anyway, My favorite song on the album is probably Hour of the Wolf, with Blood being a close second. Blood is over 10 minutes long. It's very dark. It's very doomy, and you can immerse yourself in that one. And Confess as well. Those are probably my three favorites. Hour of the Wolf, Blood, and Confess. Now, like I say, Babylon, either Babylon or Hour of the Wolf, there's a video for.
I'll have to check it out, because I don't think I did.
Okay. So, did you have a song that you didn't like?
I did not pick out a least favorite.
Okay.
But it would have just been one where you just kind of had the ambient drone stuff throughout the whole song.
I didn't have a least favorite either. And the reason being is because I enjoyed the whole album. I really did. I thought, after you listen to it once, you're like, man, what are all these long, drawn-out segments in between these songs? But really, those segments kind of draw all those individual songs together. It's kind of like you're listening to one epic, like you're watching a movie, or like you're listening to a soundtrack. And I really enjoyed it after multiple listenings. And one quick note before we rate it, the cover of the album, which I want to show again. If you don't know what that is, this is an old church that is in the middle of Lake Restian in the western portion of South Tyrol, Italy. What they did was, did you read it?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I didn't even know what a belfry was, and I had to Google it, and
really?
that's why when I read about this.
It's the bats in the belfry. The belfry is the steeple part of the church. Well, apparently they had to dam up a river, and they flooded this whole area. And there's like a village under here, under the water.
Oh, really? Well,
but the only thing that shows is the tower sticking up out of the water. And I'll post a couple thumbnails on here because when it's wintertime and the lake freezes, people walk out there and they pilfer down inside the church.
Oh no!
Yeah, but they said on certain nights of the year you can hear the bells ringing, but they took the bells out years ago.
Oh, I didn't read all that.
Yeah,
That's
cool. There was some cool stuff behind why they chose that, so I thought that was interesting. So let's do our rating. You ready to do rating? Or did you have anything else you wanted to throw out about this album?
I didn't like it quite so much as you did.
You don't know what my rating is.
Well, I thought that it was kind of surprising and unpredictable. I did like the kind of bluesy guitar riffs, and I loved Sarah's voice. I didn't like all of the instrumental with the ambient drone in there. I wasn't too keen on that. So with that, you give it 6. That's a really bad looking 6. I'm sorry.
Down? It's upside down.
No.
I give it an 8. I really wanted to give it a higher score. I think if I listened to it more, I would enjoy it more. Because like I said, that album is something you need to sit down and listen to from beginning to end. And I had to break up listening to it because of life gets in the way, and you can't just sit down and listen to an hour-long album. So I give it an 8. If you're a big fan of the doom genre, you'll probably give it a 10 because it's right up that alley. So.
And our other album is My Love Is Cool by Wolf Alice. Came out in 2015 on RCA Records. This is the first of 2 studio albums. I believe the second one came out in 2016. When did it just come out this year?
Not sure.
They're considered alternative rock, but I think they sound like a combination of kind of 90s indie rock and grunge. Some
read my
punk
notes?
Thrown in there.
They are definitely alternative rock, indie, shoegaze, which is one of the newer terms. There's a lot of little terminologies they like to throw out there, but shoegaze is one of them. And I see the grunge connection.
And they're from London. I thought it was interesting that both groups are, you know, from outside the United States, and both groups.
Both groups.
Well,
Oh.
MESSA is from Italy.
Sure.
Wolfalis is from London. Both of them are kind of surprising and unpredictable, and they mix different genres together. So I thought that was kind of cool.
They are a four-piece with a female lead singer, just like MESSA.
Yes. Ellie, Joff, Joel, and Theo.
Wow. Okay.
What? Why are you laughing?
Well, whatever.
I told Andy he'd have to help me out with this one because I didn't do as much research as I should have.
Well, it is what it is. They're sometimes grungy, sometimes shoegaze, but constantly poppy through the whole thing. I'm reading my notes.
I enjoyed this one a lot more. This was more up my alley. This was something that I would really want to listen to again, and I most likely will.
Shamrock and Records, Brian, this album's up your alley. He's a big fan of the early '90s stuff, like Live and things of that nature. If you're a fan of, here's what when I listen to them, here's what I hear: Eve's Plum, Garbage, Liz Phair, Avril Lavigne, Belly, Juliana Hatfield 3. They're like a girl power band, GRRL, if you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, the grungy. Her voice is very.
Well, I was gonna say
she mostly yells as
well,
opposed to singing.
She's
melodic, but
she can go from kind of restrained, delicate pop to kind of raging punk. She goes back and forth, and she does it really well. The timbre of her voice kind of reminds me of Dido or Dolores O'Riordan. And I probably didn't say her name right.
From the Cranberries.
Yes. Just a little.
I don't know. She's very ballsy. Her vocals are very ballsy. Like I said, like Liz Phair or Eve's Plum.
I got some different vibes from some of the songs. Like You're a Germ reminded me of the Runaways.
Okay. I can hear that.
On Silk, I kind of got like a Q Lazarus Goodbye Horses vibe.
Don't know what that is. Who?
You don't Goodbye Horses? It's on Buffalo Bill. It's Buffalo Bill's song.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That?
Yeah. Listen to it again.
Really?
Listen to it again.
Which song?
Silk.
Silk. I didn't like Silk. That song's only 4 minutes. Isn't that only 4 minutes long? But it like goes on forever. Oh my God. Yeah. It's 4 minutes and 4 seconds of repetition. I didn't like it.
Yeah, but it had that sound like. Yeah.
Like a early '80s discotheque.
Yeah.
Dance naked in front of the mirror kind of sound.
And
Winter Tuck.
Andy won't agree with me, but I felt like this was kind of more of a youthful album. Like he thinks that music should not be like you can never be too old to listen to something.
What?
But sometimes I listen to an album and I think, you know, I feel too old to be listening to this. Kind of like Lana Del Rey. I really like her, but I feel like I'm a little too old to be listening to Lana. I kind of felt that way about this, just a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
It's got a very... If you went to their concert, I'm sure there would be a lot of teeny bopper girls and douchey guys. That's the overall visual I get from their music. So, let's see. What else we want to talk about on here?
I thought they were, you know, the songs are pretty fun and catchy.
Some of them are, and there's some cussing in some of them songs.
Yeah.
The best song on the album, in my opinion, they dropped the F-bomb several times. Again, just my opinion.
What's your favorite?
Do we want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. I had 3 favorite songs on this album. Number 1, You're a Germ, which was 2 minutes and 53 seconds, and it's anything that you would want in a... Well, it's very punk rock, but it doesn't start off punk rock. It kind of goes into it, but it's got the 1, 2, 3, it's got like the counting and the anthem shouting.
That's
stuff
the one
or
that
whatever.
made me think of the Runaways.
Well, yeah, I see that. But You're a Germ, Turns to Dust is my second favorite. That's the first song on the album. Starts off slow, and it's kind of confusing a bit because again, some of their lyrics are kind of out there and twisted and weird and don't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and they have a number of music videos as well that are really wild.
Yeah.
And you should go on YouTube and check them out.
And my third favorite song is Your Love's Whore.
My favorite is, well, when I first listened to it, I had like several picked out, and then when I listened to it again yesterday, I kind of picked out some different songs. I guess it just depends on what I'm in the mood to listen to.
Yeah.
But I liked Moaning Lisa Smile.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite.
Why is that not on my list?
I don't know. Bros, it's a fun song. Your Love's Whore. Soapy Water. I just liked the lyrics. I enjoyed the lyrics.
That's not on my list. And yeah, I like that song. I would have picked that one too.
My least favorite was Fluffy. It's a lot of screeching.
My least favorite was Silk and Soapy Water.
Soapy Water, like, music wise, but if you read the poem that Ellie wrote.
Was it a poem?
Well, I don't. All songs are kind of like poems in a way, but I liked her lyrics.
And the song Lisbon was good. I liked it. And yeah, I already said the ones I didn't like. So
they're all pretty good. Like I said, I felt like it was a little bit of a guilty pleasure.
90s.
Well,
that album, if that album would have come out 20 years ago, I'm sure it would have been up there with Smashing Pumpkins and the whole grunge scene, the whole alternative early 90s scene. This would have been a good fit for that time period, I think.
Yeah.
But now, I did read this album won best album from FME magazine's alternative album of the year or something like that.
Okay.
I did read that from is this 2015?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't read FME, so just thought it was interesting. You ready to do your rating?
Yes.
Ready for the rating?
Yeah.
Okay. For Wolf Alice, Your Love is Cool. You gave it.
Your Love is Cool.
Or, what's the name of the album?
My Love is Cool.
My Love is Cool. Well, your love's hot. 7?
I considered an 8. But once again, I kind of thought, I don't know. Like it's targeted toward maybe a younger audience.
Yeah. I give it a 6. If I was 20 years old, I would be more into it.
But I kind of felt the same way about MESSA too.
What? You're too old for it? Or
yeah.
It's too... What? Really?
Yeah.
You're never too old for the devil. I don't know. I really like the Doom album. Or the MESSA album. I really dug it. So.
Well, after kind of doing some research on the different types of metal, I think I like doom metal maybe the best.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got some stuff that you can listen to in there.
So it kind of piqued my interest, and I'll have to kind of delve into that genre a little bit more.
I'll bring a goat next time.
Oh no.
Anything else?
Nope.
We good?
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for watching, and comment below. If there's an album you'd like to see us review, feel free to comment below. If it's something I already have or something that we think that sounds interesting, we might check it out. So
and definitely check these albums out. Just because we rated them 6 and 7 doesn't mean that they're not
8.
really awesome.
I gave it an
8. Yeah, they're really awesome.
Could have been a 10, but I gave it an 8. So,
and we'll see you next time.
Take care. Peace.